Perfect. Hey, hello, everyone. And if you're catching this on the recording, it is February 2nd, 2024, and this is the Mindfully Living Masterclass. So, first off, I'm Christina, and I just wanted to kind of introduce what integrative trauma coaching is. So, it is a type of trauma coaching that embraces really like a holistic approach. So, my goal is to help you achieve personal and emotional growth by combining various techniques and strategies from different areas of your life, including like personal and emotional intelligence, goal setting. I'm really, really big on goal setting and like to-do lists. So I bring that into the space as well as breath work, meditation, mindfulness, and then body-based trauma modalities, which are again the breath work and movement. So it's more intuitive movement. We would ground and bring in whatever is coming up. So that can look like maybe walking or going to the gym or specific movements like that to release the trauma from the body. And that gives you and yourself the opportunity to have the deep life transformations through processing of that trauma. So that's a little bit about what I do in my sessions and how they can help you in your day to day life. So, alrighty, I'm going to share my screen. One second. And feel free to stop me at any time if you have any questions, if you need me to slow down, since I am a fast talker, um, and if there's anything you want me to elaborate on as well. Okay. So, mastering mindful living, the art of mindfulness. Mindfulness means paying attention non judgmentally. So, with that, how I think of it is when you are thinking and going throughout your day and you notice something come up, like, oh, I'm feeling sad or I'm feeling happy, I'm feeling joyful. To me, mindfulness, you just notice it, you let it come up, and you let it settle. So, with that, being mindful every moment. Now, we're not perfect, we are human beings. So, being mindful every moment might not be realistic, but it is something that we can strive for and kind of take a benchmark and say, like, oh, I was mindful today about this scenario, and use that and be like, how could I be mindful moving forward when tough situations arise? So, the mindful living journey, we're going to go through this today. So, I'm going to share a little bit about the introduction and the importance of mindfulness in your day to day life. And then we're going to go in discovering the impact of mindful living on your personal and professional lives, since we all have jobs or different careers outside of the home life we have. I thought it was important to bring in the professional life because that's where we spend most of our time. I mean, outside of our families and our friends, if we have a standard 40-hour work week, that is a really big part of our life. So I wanted to focus a little bit on that to bring that awareness in. And then we're going to learn to practice mindfulness through meditation and breathing exercises. I have a couple opportunities to take us through some somatic meditations as well as some breathing exercises to really anchor in what it means to be mindful, because although the theory and the information is greatly important, until we recognize and feel that in our body, we're not going to know what it's like to be mindful. I can shout it from the rooftops and tell you to be mindful all I want, but until you can really understand it and apply it in your own body and in your own life, that's how real lasting change happens. So I did want to bring that in for a little bit of application today. And then building a sustainable routine to incorporate mindfulness. So I did mock up a little bit of examples on how we can incorporate this in our day-to-day life. So feel free to, take it if it resonates. If it doesn't, then you can leave it. And also too, I can offer support. So if you guys wanted to message me offline or just chit chat about it, we can kind of come up something that's unique to you and your lifestyle since everyone is different. So, some statistics here. So, 9 out of 10 people agree that daily mindfulness reduces stress levels. A little bit of background: mindfulness has really changed my life in the sense that I'm a lot more calmer. Like, I am able to take some breaths before I respond to things, which was not my normal 6 months ago. So I would say that it has reduced my stress levels. My cortisol has definitely decreased. And I'm just able to respond differently with friends, with family, with myself, more importantly, with my puppy, because if you have a dog or any pets, you understand. um, and there has been a 42% increase of mindfulness in increases in emotional intelligence. So I find emotional intelligence to be very important because without it, you sometimes you just don't know how to respond, and you could talk to someone all you want, but if they're not able to hear you or understand what you are trying to convey to them, it could get lost in translation. So I thought that was really interesting because being mindful is not just about you and yourself. It affects others, how others can perceive you and how they could listen to you or how they could really understand you better. And 4 minutes of mindfulness daily boosts productivity, which is important when it comes to like the professional life. When you're mindful, you actually are more productive because you're able to focus more on the task at hand and not trying to multitask. Because if you're trying to multitask, you're not mindful about what you're doing. You're just trying to like check things off the list or get something done. So I thought that was really interesting as well. And I wanted to bring that into the space. And I'll pause if anyone would like to write these statistics down or any notes you would like. So, why isn't everyone practicing mindfulness? So, we often struggle with mindfulness because our culture specifically encourages like the quick fixes, instant gratification. What comes to mind right here is the scrolling on social media, the like mindless scrolling basically. Um I feel we can get so caught up in the mindless scrolling and the like quick fixes and like, oh, I just want to feel better now, which is great, but how can you feel better over the long term, is really where the work lies. So instant gratification is huge because everyone's like, oh, I want this now. I want to buy this now. I mean, you can Amazon Prime basically everything. So people are like, why can't you Amazon Prime mindfulness? Like it's a real thing. Instant gratification is just really big. I did touch on the digital overload. So the constant influx of information from smartphones and social media makes it really challenging to unplug and focus on being present. I mean, try doing a 24-hour fast from social media. That can really open your eyes to how much information you're digesting and what are you really looking at when you're scrolling on Facebook or you're scrolling on Instagram? Is it things that are like helping you, or is it things that are really making you compare yourself to others or making you want to buy something? I mean, I think for me, what I noticed was on Facebook, I was like, oh, I want to buy that new kitchen gadget, or I want to buy that new, I don't know, new coffee pot that was like up and coming. And I was like, I have enough, So it can be very like psychological, like warfare. Like how can I be more mindful when I'm scrolling, or how can I have the screen time limits on my phone? to be more mindful of that digital overload. And then the pressure to multitask. So this comes in a lot in our professional life and at home with having children or dogs or pets, whatever that may be. The pressure to juggle multiple responsibilities, I mean, goodness, that can hinder mindfulness. And you may feel compelled to constantly like be on the move, like rather than taking moments for intentional and present minded reflection. So it can be very stressful if you're like, oh, I need to go take care of this, do this, run these errands. And there's a lot, like our lives are very busy. There's a lot to do in our, 12-hour day that we have. So I think there's a big pressure here, and it can really not be an excuse, but just be a reason why you can't. So it doesn't take a lot to be mindful, but I did want to bring in, maybe why people do struggle with this and why I find it so important because of the world we do live in now. Okay. So, the importance of mindfulness, these are just three that I picked that I find very important, but there are many that I could go on and on about. So, stress reduction. I mean, mindfulness has been recognized for its ability to reduce stress by focusing on the present moment and accepting it without judgment. We can break the cycle of the chronic stress and leading to improved mental and physical health. So, by noticing a thought, a belief system that's coming up in the moment, and being able to just notice it, let it settle, let it sit, and then letting it like flow away, and just not judging yourself, not judging the thought that came up, whether it was perceived good or bad, and just letting it be, can lead to improved mental health and physical health because you're not ruminating on it. You're not stuck in that cycle of like, oh my gosh, did I do this wrong? Did I, overthinking? And then the physical health too, you're not. So when you have an overload of stress, your body picks up on that. The body keeps score. So with that, you're physically like adopting that belief and that habit, and that can lead to extra stress on the body. And then increased self-awareness. So mindfulness encourages self-awareness by promoting a non-judgmental observation of thoughts, emotions, and sensations. So the heightened awareness allows us to better understand ourselves, our reactions, and our patterns of behavior. So a lot of people are self-aware. And I think that's really important because you're able to see what comes up, let it settle, and also tap into not just the thoughts and belief systems, but like the emotions and the sensations. Like, oh, I'm feeling sad. Okay, well, what does sadness feel like to me? It could mean that I'm sad about this moment or I'm sad about this other thing, but how does that feel in my body? What sensations? Is it constricted? Is it tight? Like what is sadness to you? And we can do that with all types of feelings and emotions that come up. But I wanted to bring that point in because going back to what I said earlier about feeling, I'm going to bring these practices in here soon about the breath work and somatics. But if we don't feel them in your body and how they really feel and how they sense in your body, how will you know the next time something comes up? So I think that's really important. And two, with mindfulness, when you have that increased self awareness and you are being more mindful, you are able to react differently. You can take a step back and say, okay, I'm going to react like this. I'm going to say these things instead of something different, and you can start to rewire your subconscious and like change. Literally, this is where I get so excited because you can actually change your life with this. Like, mindfulness is great and fun and cool, but like when you actually can change your habits and be like, this was a pattern I did before, like where I rushed around a lot and I didn't take time for myself, or I didn't just like take a breath before I spoke. Like that in itself, like you're actively changing your behavior and you're changing your life because those small moments, they're really not that small. They're huge, they're big, and they're amazing because you're changing your life and you're changing your day to day. So I think that's just so fun and so cool. And with that comes the improved relationships. So it fosters better interpersonal relationships by promoting the active listening, the empathy, and the compassion for others and yourself. So, being fully present in interactions can lead to more meaningful connections with others. So, we all know what it feels like to be present and what it feels like to not be present. So, how can we be more present in our interactions with others? So that's a question I want to challenge you guys on. Like, how can we be more present? So, mindful living in your life. So, it can have a tremendous impact on our personal and professional lives. And here are just some of the ways. So, for personal, I thought that it was really important to mention the enhanced ability to focus on the present moment, the greater sense of calm and balance. Because when you are mindful, you are calmer in your tone, in the way you are living, and you feel more balanced because you are not multitasking. You are balancing the to dos or the tasks that you have on hand, and you're really able to dedicate the presence to one thing, finish it to the best of your ability. Maybe that's not completing it, but getting it to a point where you're like, okay, I'm good here. Let's move on to the next thing. So there can be more balance. And then there's greater clarity and purpose in your personal life. So being mindful, I feel, really opens you up and you're able to think clearer and have more of a purpose. So maybe that means like a purpose in your family life. Like, how can you be a better mom or a better sister or something like that? So, finding that and digging deep within that. So, you're having more enjoyable, meaningful experiences, whatever that looks like to you. You're having more fun, you're playing more, and you're just really being in the moment. You're having full engagement in daily activities. This kind of goes with the like sense of balance and being able to focus fully on the present moment. So you're just able to like dedicate one specific like moment to a certain task or to do that you need done. And then it reduces burnout and improves your performance. And then these kind of intertwine with it, but I wanted to mention that the professional aspect. So, for professional, there's increased productivity and efficiency. So, I came from more of a corporate lens. So, for me, when I felt I was more mindful then was the increased productivity and efficiency. I felt that I could get things done quicker because my brain actually was able to focus on one thing and move to the next. Like I could complete it and be like, okay, this is done, cool, leave it, like just let it be there and then move to the next thing. So I found that I was actually getting more done instead of trying to multitask and do five things at once. You're able to really complete it to the best of your ability. And then for effective stress management, I mean, life can be very stressful. So with that, how can we bring in the professional lens and the mindfulness in the professional lens of the stress management? So for me, that meant like walking to the restroom and taking a couple deep breaths and walking around the building and then like coming back in. So that's how mindfulness played out for me in my personal experience. It could look differently. I mean, it could just be taking a walk like around your whatever area you're working in. It could be taking a walk outside because nature is really grounding and good for us. So it could look a lot different. It could just be like taking a couple deep breaths sitting at your desk. if you're in between meetings, things like that. But the little things really add up to make a bigger change. And thoughtful decision making, you have a clearer mind, so you're able to come at it with a different lens versus if you're multitasking, for example, you're very clouded because you're like to do 10 different things and trying to get all of the 10 things done, you're not able to come at it with a clear mind. Professional also goes into the interpersonal relationships. So, how you are interacting with your coworkers at work, are you able to really connect with them? Are you able to hold conversations that aren't work related? How do you get to know someone in your professional life? I think that's really important. Networking is huge. So, how can we get to know others and really build that relationship with them? And then effective communication and composure in challenging situations, which is pretty big. So, when you're having that meeting with your boss or your supervisor, how can you, because challenging situations do arise, how can you take a step back and be like, okay, can I take this constructive criticism and work with it? Like instead of letting that emotion override, even though I want to note that your feelings are valid in any situation, but how can you look at it from a different lens and say, like, okay, I'm feeling these big feelings right now. Can I process them right now? Can you leave and process them in your own time, or can you feel it and then process it maybe when you get home or when you get in the car, etc. So, those are some professional tips I did want to bring in when bringing in mindfulness into your life because it's pretty big. We can be mindful at home and mindful with our family, but mindful in our day to day, 8 to 5, 12-hour shifts, it's very important. I did want to pause here. Does anybody have any questions or anything you would like to add? Add. If not, that's totally okay. But I did just want to ask.
No questions. I'm just really loving this and enjoying it already. I feel like this is exactly what I'm needing in life.
Yay, that's awesome.
No questions either. Um, but I wanted to share that in the professional lens, and with other people, like outside of the home, it's not always been, but it's been pretty easy for me to stay mindfully connected and present with whoever it is I'm with or whatever it is I'm doing.
Mhm,
Um, but it's been really recently that that same intentional mindfulness has been brought into my home life and
mhm,
the relationships that you're around every single day.
mhm.
And it's been a hugely transformative experience just to experience that same connection outside and shift that into the home. So all
Mhm.
this is like right on point with
Awesome.
exactly what I needed to hear. So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And I think it's important when you're outside, you can outside in like the real world, like outside of your home, you're like, okay, I can be mindful of how I'm driving or how I'm acting. But when you bring it home, I feel like because you're so comfortable, it's so much easier to not be mindful. You can, say the wrong thing or, take someone's head off because you're just really having a hard day and you don't know how to you know, say things in the moment because you're just feeling a lot of big emotions. So I think it's really interesting to bring it into the home life and vice versa. Yeah,
I
just
feel
like
like kind of different than that. I feel like I kind of have that more in my home life and then
mhm,
at work 'cause like I'm a nurse and so not that I'm saying I'm not mindful and when I'm with the patient, but I feel like I literally have a million things going on all at once that like when I'm with someone, it's like I'm thinking of so many different things or like what I have to do next or like
mhm.
I don't know. So it would be really good to bring more of this in there and like slow down a bit. Sometimes it's hard to slow down
Yeah,
when there's so much going on, but to like bring myself back to this and like remember these key points will be like super helpful.
Yeah, too, and I think with being a nurse, there you do have to remember a lot, and maybe you could just bring the mindfulness into, like, your thoughts, like, "Okay, the patient needs this, this, and this. Okay, got it." And, like, then you could just be like, "How are you doing?" And kinda, like, break it up like that maybe. Um, we can always brainstorm after too, but I was trying to think of things that could bring that into maybe bring your thoughts into more mindful and then
Mhm.
working from there too.
For sure. Or even just like remembering to in between patients, because I feel like I'm
Mhm.
always just like running from thing to thing just to like maybe slow down, or when I have like 5 minutes instead of just like going on my phone to like de-stress, because it's not really de-stressing when you're like going
Mhm.
on your phone, to maybe just like go do breath work instead or something. I think that would be a lot more beneficial.
Mhm, or even, like, taking a sip of water and taking a couple deep breaths if you don't have the capacity to really step out and do breath work, or even because breath work doesn't have to be this whole drawn out thing. It can be 3, 4 breaths here and just really like, "Okay, I got this," and, like, affirming to yourself that you can do this or, certain things like that too.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for sharing. Alrighty. So, mindfulness in the body. So, I would like to take a moment and we're going to do some box breathing. So, we can either sit or lie down. For this is so on the screen, it's basically just going over what box breathing is. So, before we start, it is where how I envision it is when you're inhaling, you're going to inhale. We can do it for as long or as little. So I pick 4 just because 4 is my favorite number. So you're going to inhale for 4, hold your breath for 4, exhale for 4, and then hold for 4. So I envision actually drawing a square when I am doing this. So this practice, it does enhance the mind-body connection and it promotes awareness and presence during the everyday activities. So this could be a good breath to bring in during those moments where you only have about a couple minutes. So we're gonna get started in a couple of seconds. Just feel free to go off camera if you would like. Get comfortable. You can either sit or lie down, whatever choose. It's going to be a short practice, a couple minutes, but I will let you know once we're done and we can move on. So just feel free to get comfortable and we'll start in a minute or so. Alrighty. So we're going to start with 2 cleansing breaths where we're going to inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. So these are going to be some deep breaths. So you're going to want to inhale into your belly, the deepest inhale that you've had all day. And then when you exhale, you're going to exhale through the nose. So we're going to inhale, deepest inhale you've taken. And we're going to exhale out the nose. And one more, we're going to inhale, and we're going to exhale. So with this, we're going to start the box breathing. Again, it's going to be inhaling for a count of 4, holding for 4, exhaling for 4, and holding for 4. So we're going to inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 3, 2, 1. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. We're going to inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Couple more rounds here. You guys are doing great. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Okay. And now we're going to take 2 more cleansing breaths to really solidify this breath in our bodies and to bring in the present moment. So, before I do that, I just want you guys to think of one thing that you guys are really grateful for. So, envision that, see what you are grateful for. Just pick one thing, one place, one person, one feeling, and just envision that. Maybe you express that to yourself silently. Maybe you just say thank you as you're seeing what you're grateful for. And just feel into that sensation. How does that feel in your body? So this time, we're going to take the 2 cleansing breaths, but I want to inhale through the nose. When we exhale, we're going to exhale out the mouth. So feel free to make any sounds, any noises, and really exhale the breath out of the body. So we're going to inhale and then sigh it out. One more. We're going to inhale. Exhale, sigh it out. So that is some box breathing. I did add in a little twist at the end just because I felt like we needed that tonight. But that is box breathing. So I'm going to pause here and just let you kind of come back to the moment and feel free to, I'm not going to move on just yet. Feel free to just kind of wake up and bring yourself back to the screen when you're ready. And if you have any questions or any comments, let me know. Righty. I'm going to take a moment and we're going to move on to the next slide here. Righty. So the next technique I would like to bring into this space is a somatic experiencing technique. So with this is a grounding technique to connect you with your body in the present moment. So I like to do this seated. You can either do it seated or standing. So we are going to sit, and what I would like to guide you through is it's based on feeling. So, somatic experiencing is feeling sensations in your body and connecting them with your reality, with the present moment. So, we're going to sit comfortably, and you're going to feel the support of the chair or the floor beneath you. So, I'm standing, so with this, I'm connecting the floor with my feet, with my toes, really feeling into what is below me, the carpet. How does the carpet feel? How does my body feel? And we're naming those sensations. So if we're sitting, feeling our sit bones on the ground, feeling them on the cushion, on the blanket, and really feeling that. How do you feel in your body? Do you feel open? Do you feel constricted? Do you feel warm? Are you kind of chilly? Really feel that without judgment. And I want to allow whatever comes up for you in this moment. And as I'm guiding you through this somatic experiencing technique, just allowing that to come up and to not judge it. So letting it come up and sit, let it sit with you. Just notice it. Maybe you thank it. You're thanking the warmth on your skin. You're thanking the warmth of the blanket. You're thanking the warmth of yourself in this space. And you're really feeling anchored. Or maybe you don't feel so great. Maybe you're feeling pretty overwhelmed, and that's okay. I just want you to notice that and notice what it feels like in your body. Does overwhelm feel tight? Is it tight in your throat? Is it tight in your stomach? Maybe it's tight in your head. You're thinking about all the things you have to do later. Just allow it to come up. and allow yourself to let it go. Connect back to the feeling of your sit bones on the cushion, on the bed, on the floor. Notice how good that feels. Notice what it feels like to be supported, for your body to be supported in the moment. And here, we're going to take a deep breath. And when we take this deep breath, I want you to breathe through the base all the way to the crown. So you're going to breathe the energy in all the way up to the crown. You're going to hold it at the crown, top of your head, and you're going to let it out. And as you let it out, you exhale. You can exhale through your nose or through your mouth and make whatever noise needs to come out. And exhale. And just let yourself allow the moment to be the moment, to be what it is and nothing more. So, this somatic experiencing technique helps you become more attuned to your body and promotes a sense of safety and presence within your inner world and your outer world. So, I'm going to pause here if anybody has any comments, anything they would like to ask questions about. We're just going to take a moment. So, this next one was a body scan meditation. You're not going to do the body scan meditation as I just led you through the somatic experiencing technique as well as some breath work. And I don't want to overload your systems right now, but I did want to bring this piece in. The body scan meditations can be longer. I like to do them within like 15-25 minutes and really get comfortable. I like to wrap myself up in blankets, have a comfy pillow, put some music on, maybe like the certain frequency music, whatever I want to focus on, um, whatever body part I like to focus on, whatever chakra. So that's how I like to do the body scan meditations. You lay down, you can sit up. I love to lay down, it's just how I move. So, whatever feels good to you, take it or leave it. You would close your eyes and bring attention to your toes. So, the techniques that I practice and teach, they are body based. So they are from the bottom up. That is how I was taught and how I was led. So you would focus on your toes and really your roots. So you would root into the ground and feel that. You'd gradually move your awareness up through each part of your body. Again, paying attention to those sensations without judgment. I really do like to bring in this, it's a big ball of energy essentially. So you would bring up this ball of energy at your toes. And I am aligned with the white golden light. So with that, you would imagine the white golden light from your toes and moving slowly up your body. So into your calves, your knee, your thighs, the back of your thighs, into your glutes, the front body, and then you keep going until you reach the crown. You would notice any areas of tension or relaxation. You would breathe into those areas, so allowing it to relax with each exhale. So, how I bring the ball of light into it is you breathe into that sensation with the ball of light. And then as you exhale, that ball of light really absorbs that energy. So you would breathe into areas of tension, allowing them to release with each exhale. So as you notice with each inhale and exhale in certain parts of your body, that ball of light is actually taking that energy and releasing it. It's carrying it with them. So then that energy works its way up to the crown, and then you can let that ball of energies just rain down. That energy is out of your body, it's releasing all that tension, and you can really allow yourself to exhale and to open and be anchored and present within that stillness. So, this practice promotes body awareness, relaxation, and a deeper connection to the present moment. These three modalities that I'm bringing in are what I practice with my one on one clients. So, these are just teasers of what I do practice currently and what I lead. So, with that, they tend to be longer and they actually can be focused on any area of tension that you feel, whether that's in your life, whether it be career, personal, or in your body, since they are body based. Again, your body does keep score. So, there is a your outer world reflects your inner world. So when something is reflected in your outer world, there is actually something internally going on, and your body can hold on to that. And until you release it or choose to work through it, that's where the real work is, because you are able to let it go, let it be, and release it truly. And if you guys have any questions as you practice these modalities outside of this class, feel free to message me, and I can always send over any support that you need as well. Alrighty, so this I do want to bring in, which is the gratitude journaling. So I did mention um, about thinking of something that you are grateful for. So for this, I would like you guys to take your journals and write down three things that you are grateful for. So I'm going to give space for us to do this now. And when you're writing the things that you are grateful for, whether they're big or they're small, like how your coffee tasted this morning, or that you get to see your family this weekend, whatever they are, um, I want you to reflect on why they bring you the sense of gratitude. Why are you thankful for them? Why, like why is that? And really feel that, anchor that in and express that. I want to bring in that expressing gratitude for the interconnectedness of life and the synchronicities and the experiences that we are having and that we are all having. They contribute to your spiritual growth as well as your your interpersonal relationships, to your family, to your friends, to yourself, to your mind, body, and soul. So I did want to anchor that in. And this practice says, shift your focus towards appreciation and fostering that deeper connection to the present moment and your spiritual essence within, which we all have, whether, whatever religion you are, whatever you are anchored into, this really does, and everyone can be grateful and everyone can really appreciate more in their lives. So I'm going to give space for us to write some things down that we're very grateful for. I'm actually going to do it myself because I feel that it's important. And to know that as I am leading and teaching you all it's important for me to do it too. So we're going to take a moment here and feel free to ask any questions or anything like that. Um, and if you would like to chat me a thumbs up or your favorite emoji to let me know when you're done, that would be great. Um, Okay, so these next couple slides are about the routines. Oh, okay, sorry. So how you can change your life today. So these next slides are the morning and evening routines. So I like feel free to like them or leave them. These are just what works, I find works best for people, whether they're clients, friends, family. So I did want to bring them into this space today. So with light, resetting your circadian rhythm by getting outside and getting some natural sunlight. So this is pretty big. Actually, Dr. Huberman talks about this a lot in the space. So getting outside for 5 to 10 minutes each day, preferably before 10 a.m., is great. If not, that's totally okay too. I think any time throughout the day is important and very much needed, actually. So whether that's just like sticking your head out the window, you know what I mean? If you're stuck in an office all day, or it's going on a walk, taking your dog on a walk, or just being present with the light outside. I know being in Ohio, we actually haven't had much sun lately. So even just if it's getting outside, there's actually you can still get some sunlight and some vitamin D, even if it's overcast or cloudy, which is very important. So since our vitamin D levels tend to be very low. So I do want to bring that in. And then the water, drinking 20 ounces of water upon waking to hydrate your body. So when we're sleeping, we're fasting. We are not absorbing any food, any water, nothing. So you need to rehydrate when you wake up. We can't just slam our energy drinks or slam our coffees right away. We need to hydrate. Um, Filtered water is best. So we like to have the filtered water and to maybe add a splash of lemon or some Himalayan pink salt. Redmond is my favorite brand ever. So I would encourage that, just a little bit of minerals and some lemon to really spice that up and enjoy the water if you don't like plain water. Um, Also, breathing. So, practicing one of the self regulating techniques that I've shown you today, like the box breathing, to ground yourself and really prepare your nervous system for the day. I don't need you guys to be doing a 50-minute, hour-long morning routine. I think any one of these things is great, and I think all of these things are great. But choose what's good for you and leave the rest. So maybe it's just taking a couple deep breaths and drinking some water. Great, cool, amazing. But at least you're doing something for yourself that you can really anchor into and take time for yourself because especially as women, we tend to give to everybody else. We do not take enough time for ourselves. And I truly think to be empowered and to be confident and to feel our true essence and purpose, we need time for ourselves. So that starts in the morning. And journaling, so choosing a gratitude prompt or free flow writing, so spending like 10 to 15 minutes writing what's coming up for you, any feelings or emotions, etc. I actually have been liking writing five things I'm grateful for today, and then like a power list. So what that is three things that I want to get done today. And honestly, it has been like taking Ernie on a walk, drinking my 20 ounces of water, and speaking, like chatting up with someone I don't know. So whether that's like striking a conversation in the grocery store when I'm like waiting to check out, or that's smiling at like a neighbor. So I try to do something where with the power list that I could bring in something new to my day that really sparks the like soul in me. So like how can I bring my soul into my life? So that's part of my power list that I didn't actually write on here, but I want to bring that and it can bring that into this space, and also it can really bring in the like to do part. So if we want to feel accomplished or feel like we've done something in the morning, really journaling what you're grateful for brings in that appreciation, and it shows how much you care and how much you are cultivating that space and feeling that in your heart. And then being able to say, like, okay, these are the things that I want to focus on today. And that can really shift your mindset to focus on something different. So morning routines are the talk of the town. They are great. I love a morning routine, whereas an evening routine might work better for you. So pick what works best. The next slide shows the evening routines. And with the evening routine, um, it's laid out kind of similar, but you could also what I wanna bring in too is that you could do maybe, like, the drink of water in the morning and the breath work in the morning, and then at night, you could do, like, a journal session too. So that, is something that I wanted to offer. So, let me go to the next slide. Okay, so for the evening routine, this first one for the water element, like game changer. Okay, so you take a warm bath or a shower to trigger your body's parasympathetic response to get you into a rest or digest state. So with that, your like body, the heat naturally like dumps heat. So when you're taking like a warm bath or a shower, your body's like heat dumping. So you're actually relaxing when you're showering. That's something that I have learned and studied actually. Water's been a really big element that I've been focusing on lately. And it's really, really cool to see how you relax into yourself when you take a warm bath or a shower after your day. So at night. And then obviously personal hygiene is very important. So um, I wanted to bring that in for the evening routine as well as like relaxing. So, getting cozy with a blanket, lighting a candle, and dimming the lights to relax in the moment. So, like maybe that's bringing in an amber light or like red light. So a lot of people have been changing their like light bulbs out for like a certain red light. And I have a hatch alarm, so I bring that into my space where I'm able to just get cozy with the blanket and wrap myself up in that warmth, and that really anchors me into my body. And the hatch, you can play certain sounds with it, like white noise, and it like calms you down with some fun lights. So that's really important. If you don't have a light, maybe you just light a candle and you just get cozy with a blanket and maybe you read a little bit or you watch some Netflix because that's really calming too. So, not everything has to be this perfect routine, like we can still enjoy our Netflix and our, I don't know, Real Housewives of Orange County. Like, you can bring in that play and that relaxation time, however that looks for you. So we are real human beings with things we just like to enjoy, and there's no shame in that. And so breath work, so you could bring in one of, the box breathing, like I mentioned, or maybe that is like the body scan. You're particularly feeling very overwhelmed from your day. So maybe you bring in the body scan to really anchor in to your body and feeling that presentness and groundedness. And then you're able to like fall asleep easier and have more of a deep sleep. There is a yoga nidra that I do that's like a body scan relaxation meditation that I practice and have led before. So that could be something that we could work on too. And that's just bringing you into that rest and digest state and really just getting your body ready to go to bed. So that is important, as well as like reflecting. So maybe that means you write the 3 moments throughout your day that made you smile or feel really good. Um, whatever that looks like for you, big or small. So this is an evening routine that you could incorporate, or maybe you're like, oh, I want to try this morning routine, or maybe you do both, whatever works best and whatever you feel you are actually going to stick with. Because I can give you all these tools and you can feel super empowered. But then you're like, well, where do I start? And what do I do? And how do I stay consistent? And I just want to remind you that staying consistent only happens when you take the small, small steps. And it only happens when you feel that it's right for you and that you feel that the step you want to take, like adding in the taking the shower at night or the bath, will only work if you want it to. And it will only work if you know it's meant for you. You can't try to do something because this cool person is doing it or I'm doing it or I suggested it. Like I want it to be yours and for you to take it on because it feels right for you. So I did want to bring that into that space because it can feel like a lot to add things on or try to do all these things when your life can be busy enough. So being mindful is important, but not at the detriment of your health as well. So I wanted to bring that into the space. Alrighty, so that is the end. Thank you guys so much for being here, for joining on the recording, and just for taking this masterclass on being mindful. And you guys are on your way to living more mindfully, whether it's a small moment like taking those deep breaths before a tough conversation, or it's adding in a morning routine or a night routine or an evening routine, whichever one. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to stop sharing for any shares, and we can chit chat.
I have a question.
Yes.
Um, First, I have like 2 pages full of notes, so thank you.
Yes. Amazing. That's beautiful.
It's like completely filled.
Oh, awesome. I love that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Um, I had a question about your integrative trauma coaching
Mhm.
and the way that the sessions are set up. Are they like, is there a structure that you follow that each client follows at the same time, or do you do it based on what each person needs the most at that time, or how is
Yeah.
that set up?
So thank you for asking. That's actually based on the person's whatever they're coming in with. So whatever they're trying to work through, it can be so like the a first session could be more like talk based. And then the second, maybe the second half of that session is getting them feeling grounded in their body. I am in So I'm trained in 3 techniques, which is biodynamic breath work, where it is focused on movement, where you're moving the energy through your body with the breath. So you're breathing into certain spaces into your body, through and movement, like, through that. So whether that's, like, moving your arms or moving your legs or jumping up and down. It kind of depends how we bring that movement in, and honestly, based on the person. If they're feeling really overstimulated, I'm not bringing in a movement piece because the body needs to ground. So that's the one modality. The somatic experiencing is really feeling those sensations within the body and naming those, and how I we can, go into that where what does an emotion feel like? How does it show up in your life? And then meditation and mindfulness, loving kindness as a meditation I am certified in. So I bring that into the space as well. But it really depends on the person and the type of, thing they want to work on or how they want to change their life. And two, I can also bring in like the more logical and practical ways of processing the trauma too through different modalities like that.
So in the sessions, you essentially like meet somebody where they're at and then create a toolbox of resources to
Mhm.
begin integrating into the day.
Yes. Mhm.
Okay.
So we start slow with the toolbox. We're kind of just seeing where they're at and also not pushing them to adopt something that isn't right for them as well. So it's really client based. I don't have a like, oh, we're going to do this, do that. It's really what they bring to the space and what they want to focus on is what I can work with essentially.
Okay. I like that because I feel like sometimes your growth periods move quickly and then other times there's a slowdown. So,
Mhm.
yeah, I like that. Thank you.
And I think too, I want to bring in that um, there is a period of like stillness where you truly just have to live your life to like figure out how you're ready to move forward. Like you can lead a horse to the water, but you can't make them drink. So you can bring all these tools in, and it's up to them to use their discernment and to use their free will to choose those spaces. And when you're in that period of stillness, you can choose to use a tool or you can choose whatever path you want. So healing does come in waves, but the work that I am bringing to the world is really focused on the small and the big, whether that's small trauma, big trauma. Everyone carries it differently and everyone processes it differently. Thank you.
Thank you.